Somebody money gonna run out. Melly ain't made a song in almost 10 years. That ain't no joke, that's the truth. He been locked up almost 8, going on like 8 years. And he went big before he went to jail. So who funding him to be able to afford a lawyer? Who paying for his lawyer, his attorney, and all these hearings? Because these hearings cost, these motions, I mean, they cost thousands of dollars. We got a chance to see Melly today for the first time in months in a suit. You know, the judge granted him permission to wear civilian clothes, and the day he came in, still cuffed up, shaking hands with his lawyer. You know, same Melly, just only thing different is the suit. And I get it because they don't want him looking like a convicted felon or looking like a jailbird in front of the jury. So that's understandable. I'm about to get into this because today was the witness tampering hearing for all of the motions that the state filed and the defense team filed. And I want to make it clear, I'm not talking about the murder case. I'm only talking about the witness tampering case because that's just what this strictly was about. The murder case is a whole separate case. The state says that Melly tried to mess with a witness from the double murder trial back in 2023, which we all know that trial ended in a mistrial. And according to prosecutors, while Melly was locked up in Broward County Jail, he allegedly passed a note to another inmate who then made phone calls for him trying to pressure a key witness not to testify. Who we think this key witness was, everybody's saying it is Mariah Henderson, but when they brought her name up today in court, they said MH, but I'm pretty sure that's who they were talking about. And basically the state was saying today, you know, Melly couldn't make these calls himself. So he used somebody else to do it because, you know, at the time, Melly didn't have no phone rights. They took all his rights. He pretty much was on a lockdown. So who did he use? Terrence Mathis and James Howard. Now, if you've been following this case, then you know that James Howard and Terrence Mathis have ties to the same gang, allegedly, as Melly. And I want y'all to think about something because I'm pretty sure you either know somebody in jail or you've been locked up before in jail yourself. But either way it go, from what I hear, one of the smartest things to do when you locked up is when you get in there, stay neutral or get around people who are just like you. And if they've been in there long enough, the people that you get around, then you start seeing how to move when it comes to certain things. Eventually, you become programmed the same way that these people program. You go on the yard the same way that they go on the yard. You go to the cafeteria the same way that they do. You make calls the same way that they do. You send kites and messages the same way that they do. You learn stuff. I said all that to say this. I get exactly what the state is arguing. I get what they putting down. And when I see the state and defense argue stuff like this, it's always intense, but in a very nice way because you know the state got a case and what they fighting, they got a point. And everything in they pointing in this case is circled around common sense. And if you could use common sense, Melly probably will have a sponge on his damn head. But since you can't, and you got to stick to the laws and what the book says as it pertains to the defendant's right for a fair trial, some of this stuff may get through to the judge, some of it may not, but you still take a chance and you fight as hard as you can, and that's exactly what the prosecutor is. Melly's lawyer tried to shut it down, filing a motion saying the jail calls, the notes, the statements, it's just all hearsay. They claim this whole time that it's been all hearsay and that the jury shouldn't be allowed to hear any of it. But the state clapped back and said, no, this is core evidence. This is how the witness tampering happened. So when you listen to the prosecutor explain the situation, you really get a better understanding of how Melly was moving back then. And in all honesty, all you got to do is go read the paperwork. Just go look the stuff up on the website. They got everything he did on camera and the timestamps in the court document when he was passing these kites and passing these messages. Now, here's the part that Melly didn't win on because the judge denied the defense request to keep Melly's capital murder charges away from the jury, which I feel like he should have because it's the least you can do with everything else that you denied that I'm going to touch on in it because it's a couple more other things today that went on that, yeah, my personal opinion, it just didn't make no sense. But like I said earlier in the video, if you're going by, you know, laws of the books and Florida state laws and giving Melly a fair trial, then okay, fight it as hard as you can if you're going by the book. But some of that stuff you send back, you using your common sense. I appreciate people that be understanding me in the comments when I say using common sense, because that's really what it's all about over here. I don't really be caring what the law say in this. Like, I break it down, but then when I get my opinion on the end, it's like, come on, man. Like, we the proof is in the damn pudding. But they get paid to fight these cases and stuff like that. And you see, he got a high power attorney right now, Drew Finley. So he gonna fight tooth and nail every day. But this is an attorney for the state this time around that I feel like ain't gonna lay down. Drew came in right off the back saying that basically like this is a cakewalk, this walk in the park. Like saying ain't no need of y'all getting comfortable because we ain't gonna even be here tomorrow. And they're like, how you know? You walking in with the arrogance already. And people got so much faith in him because I guess he representing Dirk right now too, and the stuff that's going on with him and his murder for high case. But that's what made me feel like eventually he gonna take a L. Somebody money gonna run out. Melly ain't made a song in almost 10 years. That ain't no joke. That's the truth. He been locked up almost 8, going on like 8 years. And he went big before he went to jail. So who funding him to be able to afford a lawyer? Who paying for his lawyer, his attorney, and all these hearings? Because these hearings cost, these motions, I mean, they cost thousands of dollars. Bottom line though, the witness tampering trial is happening now. The double murder trial is in about a year from now. And the gang enhancement, it was dropped today, it was thrown out today as, you know, it pertains to the witness tampering case. But I still think it's very much in play still. And this is why the state keep fighting hard to keep it relevant, to make it stay alive. I think the state somewhat lost today. Melly got a little win somewhat, but ultimately what the state was fighting for, they took a real deal L, because by the gang enhancement being thrown out, it's probably gonna be hard to make other stuff stick to prove the witness tampering case and its point, because a lot of the stuff that made the witness tampering case strong was because of all the stuff that they could prove through gang ties and stuff that Melly was doing behind the wall. And if you've been subscribed to my channel and been keeping up with this series, you already know that 2 days ago I dropped a video about 10-9 to Jake. And in that video, I said I felt like Jake's content and the interviews that he did played a role in his witness tampering case. Not because Jake had anything to do with the murders, of course. Not because he had something to do with Sack or Juvie, you know, being set up or anything like that, but I'm talking about the gang aspect. Because for the state to paint their full picture of Melly alleged gang ties, both on the street and behind the wall, I could see how Jake videos and interviews could have been used to help them build a narrative. Especially when you look at the communication lines that the state said Melly used while he was locked up. The people involved in the communication, allegedly, they fall under the same gang umbrella as Jake. And Jake then talked about these same people or his same affiliations in certain content. In certain Today, videos. Jake got a break, though. The judge agreed with the defense that as it relates to the witness tampering case, anything involving Jake videos is irrelevant and basically hearsay, at least for now. So for Jake's sake, that was a win. But I'm still looking at the bigger picture, because even though Jake dodged it in this situation, in this case, I still believe the gang stuff gonna come back up heavy in the murder retrial next year. It's gonna come back around.
Y'all know they've brought my name up multiple times. I dropped a video on Danny Polo, the detective with the mask. I've spoke on the Melly case during different interviews, and they, and by they I mean the prosecutors, the state, have even tried to use my interviews against Melly. But today, all of that just got thrown out.
Say what you want about me, but I'm a detail person. When I read paperwork, I don't just be reading this stuff trying to understand it and figure it out for just legal reasons. I be looking for people slip ups too. I've been reading this stuff up and down about the gang enhancement part. And I know I'm not the only one that see what they trying to do with this.
I start doing videos covering the case, and they start introducing the videos I was doing into the case. I did an interview with Track 100, and I covered the situation in multiple different angles. If you look down here at the bottom, it says YouTube videos. Melly in a restaurant doing gang signs, 7 rappers who got called out, Melly on video throwing gang signs, Melly in a restaurant, Cowboy live, and then we go to the next page. And now we see 1090 Jake on the Island Boys claiming to be Bloods. This was a no jumper video. So this is the actual video that they pulled into this case. It's from 3 years ago and it has 2 million views. 1090 Jake and the Island Boys claiming to be Bloods. Now they got another video. YNW Melly speaks on Blood set. The YNW Melly GKBs, Rolling 20s. Rolling 20s and GKB is 2 completely different fucking things. Vlog, 1090 Jake on becoming a white blood, YNW Gino Shine, YNW official meaning of Murder on My Mind, Soulside G Mix Melly. Now 1090 Jake becoming a white blood was this video right here from Vlad TV that was posted 2 years ago. 1090 Jake on how he became a white blood. People respect violence, 139,000 views. And right under it is the newest video, 1090 Jake on maturing beyond his white blood identity. You know what I'm saying? Dropping the flag, moving past it, whatever. And basically, like I stated in the Vlad TV interview, what they were trying to do, right? And this is how the internet works. The state will be like, obviously, if 1090 Jake hasn't been killed and he's in pictures with all these people and this and that, he must be an actual blood. Right? And we're going to take it as far as hyping him up. We're going to say he's a high ranking blood and he even funds the bloods and he even does this and that, right? With the internet, you know, the people in the comment section, what they're going to do, or the people that are just trying to go viral, 1090 Jake's a fake blood. He's a fake blood. If I don't see him over here, if I don't see him with them, he's a fake blood. So y'all don't even understand the fucking dynamic that goes on, because it's like, a stupid motherfucker would try to prove, oh, I'm a real one. You know what I mean? And by proving that, you're further proving what the state is saying against you, making it even harder to walk away from everything. So for me, I decided, fuck it. I'm just going to walk away and denounce everything. I'm going to denounce what the state is saying. I'm going to denounce what the internet is saying. I'm fake. That's fine. I'll roll with it, because that's going to keep me from a RICO or any other type of fucking indictment. But the thing is, for the people making all these comments, they don't even know who I'm around. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know. People will be like, oh, he could never get next to da-da-da. And this actually happened. People said I couldn't be in this area, and if somebody that ran that area was there, I would have never been allowed. And they didn't even know that person was standing next to me in the picture, because people just run their fucking mouth. They really don't even know who the big names are. Like,
that's exactly what they saying you doing, dude. Y'all ain't catch that. He just contradicted the hell out of himself. You mad at an undercover officer for doing his job, for looking into things that you said online to verify facts and strengthen a case against Melly. But that's the same exact thing that you did to the Island Boys. When you thought the Island Boys were false claiming, what you do? You ain't just talk about these boys. You went straight to the sources. You went to go see what they verified. You went and dug up dirt on these guys, or went to the people who they said that they would put down with to get clarification on it, to make sure what they were saying on the internet and what they were saying in their video was true. And you put everything together and made a video to show the world that they were false claiming the same umbrella that you say that you under. So now all of a sudden, when an undercover cop do it, it's a problem. But it was cool when you were doing it though, because this is pretty much how you make your content, dude, in so many ways. So now all of a sudden, when the police do it, it's a problem. This is exactly why the state is saying that you know stuff. Because you know these people, allegedly. I'm gonna just say that. I'm just say going off your video. You've spoken to a few of these people. based on videos you done made, and you got a picture with these guys. And guess what? So does Melly. This ain't a coincidence, y'all. This is a connection. This is why I keep on saying right now, Jake is just trying way too hard to control the narrative. He talking in circles. He was mad at Danny Polo for using the same tactic that he used. And still right now in the video that you made today, you don't even realize you slick counter telling on yourself a little bit.
His name is Jacob Cherry, 1090 Jake. And they gave this whole fake ass story about how I was some high ranking blood, which I've never been. About how I'm funding a gang with my YouTube channel, which I've never done. Because I'm pretty sure if you ever seen me in pictures with questionable looking people, none of them ever had the jewelry I had on. You know what I mean? So if I'm getting extorted, you would think everybody around me would be iced the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never hit the hood and just handed out money. I never did that. And I never held rank either. You gotta understand, my gang banging career was from a very young age. You know what I'm saying? I started YouTube in 2019 and I've made a ton of money since then. So it's like, it makes absolute zero sense to dive into more gang shit and try to get rank and all that when you're already getting money. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, unfortunately, within the gang life try to use money to get rank because they've never experienced the gang shit. So they want to feel cool. But I got a full fucking scholarship in prison. When it comes to gang shit, I'm all set with that. I learned my lesson.
I said in my last video, this man talked too damn much. And that's what put him in this situation in the first place. And look, he's still talking. You can't get mad at the cops for doing their homework on you when you done built a whole platform doing homework on other people. Jake don't really get no cool point for exposing Danny Polo the way that he did and how he keep bragging on. That's what I was talking about in my last video, because to me, that was spiteful as hell. It would have been more cleaner if you had to just debunk what Danny said at trial when he was on the stand, instead of trying to expose him and showing his real identity and exposing his background, his family, and all that type of stuff. See, when you do stuff like that, it's a whole different ball game. It's doing the mafia movies and documentaries, crime movies and crime documentaries, stuff like that. You know, anytime it get to a point where people get to threatening families, they get to threatening exposure, they ready to dig up skeletons of certain people, that's because they trying to control the narrative by applying pressure to get the heat off of themselves. So that's when you get the threats to the family or to the kids, or they know where your mama stayed and stuff like that, or they know where your last job was, or where your son got his baseball practice. Like, did the same type of like thing I feel like Jake did in a smooth way with his video when he got to exposing that Danny dude. Because a lot of people tried to say that he wasn't credible, because when he got on the stand, he basically said that he was affiliated in the gang the same way that Jake got in. And I think that didn't sit well with Jake. What you mean by that? He basically is a white boy on the stand, and they asking him, okay, so how did you get so close in the Bloods, the woo did that and third, you a white boy? And he basically said, what that mean? Look at the YouTuber, he a white boy. Basically like, y'all let anybody in. Like, it ain't hard to get up under y'all and manipulate y'all or get y'all to tell on y'all self, because if you let somebody in like that get on YouTube and just can make documentaries and give a whole rundown and origin stories or tell you how he was put down, then shit, what am I? How hard is it gonna be for me to get in? That's exactly why I say when Jake was doing what he was doing, he just was talking too much on the internet. And that attention just came back around on him. It put a spotlight on him just in a negative way. Not the spotlight that he was looking for, but that's the price you pay when you're doing content in your own backyard. And instead of letting it play out when it happened, he tried to go flip his own narrative and control the situation by just exposing the undercover cop who basically was doing the same thing that you were doing. They was interesting as hell, and the defense got what they wanted in this case. Cool. The real question is, do y'all think that was a win? Like, what y'all think, man? Did Melly's defense team get the W today? is 1090 Jake really in the clear now? And how do y'all feel about the capital felony charge still being allowed in front of the jury? Drew Finley got big feet in the legal world. It ain't no debate there. But this state prosecutor, she don't look like she bagging down. And she gonna fight. We can act like this gang stuff is small, but I'm sticking to it. I'm sticking to this. Just because it was thrown out right now, don't mean that it's gonna stay buried. And if you've been paying attention to all the details, then the writing is on the wall. Drop your thoughts and let me know what you think, man, in the comments, man. If you're new to the channel, if you stayed to the end, hit the like button, subscribe, share, comment down below. I appreciate all the subscribers that I've been getting the last couple weeks. I'm on the road to 1,200. I'm like probably 30 away from 1,200 subs, so I appreciate all the love and support that I've been getting. Y'all have a good day. Y'all have a good night. Y'all be blessed. I'm out.